Hello fellow sim racers, today I'm mostly talking about pedals. More precisely, I want to talk to you guys about my experience moving from the Thrustmaster T3PA pedal set to the Fanatec Clubsport V3s. When I upgraded my T3PA pedal set in autumn 2017, I couldn't find a video review that really let me know what to expect from the upgrade. And now I've had a chance to live with the pedals for 4 or 5 months, I thought I should probably make a video about my experiences. So, if you're watching this video, there's a good chance that you already suspect that the pedals may be the weak point in your sim racing rig. And well, if you have the type of pedals that Logitech or Thrustmaster bundle with their wheels, you may well be right. High quality pedals can allow you to be more consistent, and that's about as complicated as this gets. By having a more predictable feel, tighter manufacturing tolerances, high quality pedals allow you to transfer mechanical load from your flailing limbs in a more consistent way. This is especially important when braking. Being able to apply a precise amount of load at a precise time is, well, that's pretty much all there is to it. Before we move on into the meat and potatoes of this review, let me add one king-sized caveat. You don't have to have the best gear in the world to be a great driver. Picasso would have still created amazing works with a cheap paintbrush, and Hendrix would have still been a godlike talent on a pawn shop guitar. If you want proof of this, go to a site like RSR, if it still exists when this video goes out anyway, and look at all of the guys setting those alien lap times. At least half of them are using the cheapest chips, Logitech G25s and G27s. So you don't need a Fender Stratocaster, and you probably don't need to buy new pedals. First of all, if you've already got T3PA pedals, you can probably skip to the 5-minute mark to hear about the Fanatec Clubsport V3s and how they compare with them. I've had a set of T3PA Pro pedals for a long time now, and that's what I'm basing this opinion on. However, everything I'm saying is equally applicable to the regular T3PAs. For those that are unaware, the two main differences between the Pro and the regular versions are this piece of sexy checker plate, and the Pro pedals can be inverted if you desire to do such a thing. The T3PA pedals are pretty robust, much more so than the Logitech offerings and the Thrustmaster 2-pedal set. These will likely last you a long time. The pedals come with 2 brake mods, well, the first of which is a slightly beefier spring and is largely useless, and the second is what is known as the conical brake mod. This is an adult toy-shaped piece of rubber cast around a bolt. It's designed to be installed behind the brake pedal and simulate the resistance of a hydraulic braking system. And to be fair to Thrustmaster, for a very simple, cheap solution, it actually does work. However, I found the stock conical mod to be very hard and ordered a replacement on eBay, which allowed me to set the pedals up a little bit more to my liking. The main plus point in T3PA pedals is the cost. The non-pro version is about a quarter of the cost of the Fanatec pedals. Simply put, at this price point, they are the undisputed champions. There's nothing that even comes close. Out of the box, the T3PAs do have a few weaknesses. In my opinion, the resistance on the throttle and clutch is very low, which can make it a little difficult to be precise with your inputs. But you can buy upgraded springs which do help matters a little. The biggest negative, however, concerns the brake pedal. The T3PA pedals use a potentiometer to measure the movement of the pedal itself, whereas in a real car, the hydraulic system reacts to pressure rather than angular movement. More expensive pedals try to capture braking inputs by measuring the load to simulate this instead of the movement of the pedal itself. In practice, this means that the T3PA brake pedal is not very sensitive to small changes in pressure. This becomes very apparent when you try to modulate your braking inputs and, in my opinion, in particular when you try to employ trail braking. The problem is amplified when you use the conical brake mod, in my opinion. The brake mod does give a better feel, and you can dial it in so you can find the braking threshold much more easily. However, in my opinion, it somewhat inhibits your ability to make the small, precise changes in pedal input that are needed to really find the limit. I also found that the small pedal plates that come with the T3PAs can make it a bit difficult to heel toe comfortably. And because the pedal layout, I either had to twist my leg at extreme angles or use the side of my foot to blip the throttle. This did work, and after a while I got used to it, but it's not really ideal by any means. My final bugbear with the T3PA pedals is that Thrustmaster make you buy a separate adapter if you want to plug them directly into a USB port, rather than into one of their wheels. This is pretty shoddy if you ask me, and honestly, at the price they charge for the adapter, it shows contempt for their customers. So, to sum up, the T3PA pedals are a bargain, and they're easily the best option in the price range. If you're limited on budget, these are definitely the pedals you should buy. They're more than serviceable and they get the job done. For more casual racers, in fact, these are probably perfect. But for those that want to extract every last bit of performance, then there are better options out there. So that brings us on to the Fanatec Clubsport V3 pedals. To start with, these pedals are very robust. Everything's made of thick machined metal, and where castings have been used, they've been impeccably finished. I have no doubt this pedal set will last for years and years. The pedals come with two types of pedal face, and like the T3PAs, they're really adjustable. The large throttle pedal is designed with heel toeing in mind, which means I no longer have to do my best impression of a contortionist in order to blip the throttle when downshifting. The resistance on the throttle pedals are a bit higher than T3PA's, but it's still not quite as firm as I'd like. Fanatec sells uprated springs and a damper kit should you wish to rectify this, but I decided to leave it as it is. The clutch pedal comes with a damper pre-installed, and it has a great feel to it. Moving on to the brakes, this is where things get interesting. The Clubsport V3s allow you to adjust the amount of travel and stiffness in the brake pedal. What's interesting is these adjustments are independent of the measurement made by the load cell. So if you like a brake pedal with a little bit of dead zone before the brakes are applied, just like in your road car, then you can dial this in. Or if you'd rather have a very stiff pedal that you need to jump on, then that's possible too. What more could you want? Because the pedal measures pressure via a load cell, it's much more sensitive to the braking inputs that you make with your feet. This took a little while to adjust to, as I had to undo years of bad habits that I built up on lesser equipment. But once I had a feel for the pedal, I was finding that I could brake slightly later, slightly harder, and I could trail brake deeper into corners than I could with my T3PAs, which is great. There are a few other features on the Clubsport V3s that I like, but I'm going to gloss over them for the sake of brevity. The clutch and accelerator pedals use Hall effect sensors rather than potentiometers, which are both more accurate and more reliable, and, in my opinion, an under-advertised feature is the placement of haptic feedback motors on the brake and accelerator pedals. These don't always play well with every title, but when they do work, they provide some interesting and useful feedback through your feet. That being said, they aren't super strong, so those of you that wear thick-soled shoes could have a problem here. I race in slippers, so it's all great. So it's pretty clear that I'm a fan of the Clubsport V3 pedal set. However, there are a few downsides that are probably worth a mention. First and foremost, they're not cheap. In fact, you can buy a complete Thrustmaster wheel and pedal set for the same price. But they very much feel like a lifetime product in my opinion, and they seem to hold their value pretty well on the second-hand market should you want to get rid of them. And given that I spend dozens of hours a week sim racing, I consider them an investment in my enjoyment of the hobby. Secondly, these things are pretty heavy. If you've got a portable rig that you need to move around a lot, or a folding setup that you need to keep out of the way of your better half, then that might be a consideration that matters. On top of that, they do seem to require a bit more maintenance than the Thrustmaster pedals did. I need to lubricate these pedals once every 4 to 6 weeks or so, or a loud, annoying squeak will appear almost without warning, and I can tell you that's not something you want to have happen to you 2 minutes into a 90-minute long race. So, to use the vernacular of the youth, did the Clubsport V3 pedals help me get good? Well, honestly, both yes and no. My hot lap times haven't really changed much, but my stint times have improved. I think this is because the Clubsport pedals have allowed me to be a little more consistent, particularly under braking. Evidently, more consistent means fewer mistakes, which means over the course of a session I'm faster overall. However, I honestly don't think the V3s have helped improve my raw pace a great deal. For the avoidance of doubt, I haven't really done it a lot in the way of empirical testing, so my findings here are highly subjective, and as always, your experiences may differ. Overall, I found the Clubsport V3s helped me make small improvements to a few key areas of driving. As I suspected, buying new equipment wasn't going to be a silver bullet, and I'm still nowhere near being an alien, though I can mix metaphors at the drop of a hat. I hope this video has been useful to some of you, and if you've got any questions about how the V3 and T3PA pedals stack up, please make yourself heard in the comments. As always, if you've enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing and hitting the like button, and until next time, goodbye and thank you for watching.